ye ba do ye la so wan de zo ye me la ye ba do ye la so wan de zo ye me la ye ba do ye la so wan de ye rab ye ma ba ge de ye a de ye me sem ye cha de zo Chöd do ya var zen ye la ye long du ye dong ba da lo yong men je yang be ngai ni ne gan de se ba sen de ne se sim ye se ba mai zo da ta ni nyam ni se na de yin jing me sem jin ye mong ra ma de jin go la zo la me Adang zi bang be pai ro na jin ba sa wa lo na me yo je bang be pai ro na chu zhen za wa lo na me dong na me cha pai ro na zi ba za wa lo na me nyam lin da ba me ba na zhong zhi za wa lo na me Mang la ne pe pai ro na sam ti za wa lo na me ne lo to pe pai ro na hi ra za wa lo na me se te to pe pai ro na thap ki za wa lo na me divya jong pe pai ro na top ki za wa lo na me Hong nian zhe pe pai ro na mo nam he ma la ye ba do ye la zo wan de zo ye ma la ye ba do ye la zo ye ma la ye ba do ye la zo wan de zo ye ma la ye ba do ye la zo wan de Ye rab ye ma ba ge de ye a de yin me sem ye cha de zo Chöd do ya var zen ye la ye long du ye dong ba da lo yong men je nyam be ngai ni ne gan de se la sen de ne se sim ye se ba mai zo da ta ni nyam ni se na de Yun jing me sen jin yu mong ra ma de jin go la zu la me Adang zi bang be pai ro na jin ba sa wa lo na me Yo je bang be pai ro na chu zhen za wa lo na me Dong la me cha pai ro na zi ba za wa lo na me Nyam lin da ba me ba na zhong zhi za wa lo na me Mang la ne pe pai ro na sam ti za wa lo na me Ne lo to pe pai ro na hi ra za wa lo na me Se te to je pai ro na thap ki za wa lo na me Divya jong pe pai ro na top ki za wa lo na me Hong nian zhe pe pai ro na mo nam za wa lo na me Nyum mong rang chang zhe ba na yi ji za wa lo na me Hong nyam zhe mi na te da ye a cai dong pi da la Yu ba chong pi zong ho He ma la ye ba do ye la zo wan de
Gom Thri translate it into English?
I have no idea. There's not saying it in the end.
Giving is only roaching, don't know the Shangatama, getting lions, Mamma, Mahamudra, Javan, Hongpa, Kajulamana, the only chicken, the young one. Rasem Choka, Moto, Zavalama, the sort of night of that shooting. Not only Mocha, Gilaso, the Jiton, the Dajina, Tamba, Chujan, and so. The rich road of Bartanang, Milarepa, song at Sakang. They say, Motu Chile, Titan, King of somebody, Nimbo Mati, there's no Dutch body, or Nimuri, then Yami Tomsic, Nimbo Nawasaki, Yami something, so long as the teacher in Yamsel Taba, the data tap, the Silo de Ladini, Tajin, things to go with the Aninabagan, the Goyang, so they. Ngadi nga tsakang song, ten jiktin song mungu song bari de, ten jiktin song ula de pamo chwa ke, triti nyami tsima ngadi, sa song le, ten tsakang jide tsak tsudile, jiktin song u tsud, lina mani jiktin song u song re. Triti kebar kare de, manar pe tsak dodo re song re. Triti nyam salin pa kabi teni yang, sertilan tena, kare si nyam salin go re pena, sam hije gons, Sam Hiji won't take Kanchi go gore, the touch of a Yatwachila. Oh, that's Sam Hiji, Sam Hiji, thousand boat hours a race, making 1,000 was a chin donor, the cardons in dot of your age. Then I did sin number top on the some napsi missed away, the Napo Tachta, the said the Dorna. Sem number shibande, Jimmy Lothandona, you shall talk to the Talashon, ya, or race. Tata meets Hama Caris, dancing the Talashon. Carison the church him with Dagor. Ya, the Carison of Thomas Nasa with some natural something. Ta take it, Nasa said the store chardy or legendary Shina. Mr. 칼라미네 주고 또 거리 다 차장 못고 누가 르르지 용거리 그 마고 탐이 사제나 오고리
제일 체대적으로 차로에 제스마지라 게이토고 엄마리 제스마마리는 들이 상인지 소유고 말이 다 소유라 위로 차대요. 제일 룽하고 사와데 다 체지사와 마르라고 그래요. 셈들이 이미를 놓다 말아왔더니 산적샘도 따라고 대시온 거래지. 여기서 우측강자가 안에는 고용성 봐 동대리 진짜 책으로 책강 저요래 대비는 책 상호태려고 연도 책고래지.
So, Madama friends, this morning I given some introduction to a verse by Milarepa, and I've mentioned that Ken Rinpoche here had called that the 5 essences, and that's very meaningful. And now when you know that it is an essence, then you know that it really applies to any practice, any Buddhist practice that you do. Whether you practice the path of individual liberation, Bodhisattva path, or the Vajrayana path. This is the method to practice them all at the same time. So this afternoon, I'm going to talk about the corresponding verses by Lord Chigden Songön that the nuns had just sang before on the fivefold path. And these words were written by Lord Chigden Songön and were based on the teachings that he had received from his own guru Mahamudra. But the one who actually wrote them down was Chigden Songön. And so the difference between Chigden Songön's and Milarepa's verses here is that Milarepa really said those verses very briefly. And then Chigden Songön puts it more into a practical perspective. How do we actually practice that? He explains that more. For example, Milarepa says you have to give rise to love and compassion. Then the question arises, how can I practice love and compassion? Then the answer is given by Chigden Songön in his verses. And he says that love and compassion is like a horse, an excellent horse, that when you ride it, it can bring you wherever you want to go. So the consciousness is like the person who rides the horse, and the thought is like the horse. So if the consciousness gives rise to altruism, then you are riding the horse of Bodhichitta, and that brings you further and further up. But most people are actually riding the horse of selfishness, of self-grasping. So what kind of horse you're riding, you have to see for yourself. But for the most part, it is the case that whatever one does, whatever you do it for yourself. There's everything I do, it has to do with me. I think about myself, what is good for me. And once you have this I, this me in mind, then you are considering this life as most important, your own life as most important, even if you understand karma. And of course, you have to engage in mundane activities because you have to work. Without work, you have no money. Without money, you have no food, and then you go hungry. And then you experience the suffering of heat and cold and finding no food and drink and so on. But then, because you're completely preoccupied with yourself and this life, you cannot think about future lives. So when you do not consider others and love and compassion as important, naturally you're considering yourself as most important. And of course, we have no choice but to engage in mundane activities with our body and speech. But with our mind, we should still not separate from the altruistic mind. We must ride the horse of Bodhichitta. So that is what is explained by Chigden Songön in his verse. So that's on page 19, and he says, when concerning love and compassion, the stallion, you do not cover the whole distance, the benefit of others, you will not receive the acknowledgement of the assembly of gods and men. Therefore, make serious efforts at cultivating the preliminary resolve.
Entscheidend aber ist, was motiviert unser Handeln? Ist es nur das blinde Reagieren auf solche Umstände oder haben wir das Leiden, die Not aller anderen auch im Blick
내려다다 인핑이 오 답이 치료를 써 인핑 드야레스 기지 물로도 체다 다도 드야레스 그 다진이 가가리 베나 제지나 내시는 것도다 인을 인핑을 인을 제거래 대라고 삼아 대말 가리 있는다더니 세군 너바스 버리마디 라도 찍어서 직장을 요마 이도 찍어야 직장을 요마 대외 네가 세군 너바서 추나도 너바서 인소 너바가 되니까 나소 제는 답을 치료된 양이 제네요 코를 주는 줄로 선고 요리 배나게 담에 살을 좀 내야 나 지금 마전이지 데르티니티 사이적 된다고 좀 들어요 그래서 이제 통해서 이질이 있나요? 다 요게 동행 중앙인 거요래. 세부 다 매빠지라 좀 답어지르지. 다도 가르쳐 다 나진이지 다송상 대 답어지는 게 성사에 영어들이 예상을 답어지르지. 근데 좀 매가 찍빠져 봐시 일이서 속내지 요만이지. 세부 다 되는 동행 중거래. 생은 더 발라 레와래. 근데 주직이 사와 가르치네요. 생때게 인fin을 놓아서做起呢 근데 사 먹기가 탐지 기왕은 저도 봤지 상속성 이건 인게 되네 내가 전도 거리 다 나서 어쩌다 답이 추럭적 좀나 저리 좋은 인용고 요리 내가 소난 그 야채라 과실에 소난 우절은 저 요리 토리는 것이 삼제 토고 요건 타속성지에 고마 토좀 내가 내가 토리는 것이 이제 너무 마음에 따고 조로요래 그 인피로 제타바티니 소놈 제야메 봐 내가 다촉니 병이 좀요래 대지 당선지서 용 띵제 나디의 중제 가가가가를 하고 딱 주고 땅에 사와도 찍기는 별로 지바겠다나 그냥 마셔 가시 같은 거 같이 뭐 약해요 생문도 막 그래 다른 게 도권이 알아서 좋지는 엄마한테 소고리지 정말로 피사서 삼 대로 삼 들이들 좀 아침 못하는 데 총총 제가 가실 소고차 들이 종로요에 내가 사자별이다 송발이 네 수남 속에 돈도 많이 많아지네 내가 오지 밤에 매번 속에 돈도 많이 저다 나와는 그래서 남들 rummet namse zorore det tjente samme sawa tap지 소남지 사나 이런 거 되게 많이 또 다다 가리 하고 너바지야 제 좋은 거래 실 롱하고 사와도 좋은 분 말이 대라고서 하고는 상속 섬지 발이 세군도 봐도 이비로 소소서 롱하 예수 사와 탐지 이비를 just 대하고는 이비를 주고 지체에 봐 지체에 가르치는 상속선도 맞잖아 직진사와 탐지 줄을 줬고요 저책도 어디나 새로운 인피를 놓으면 이 답을 취해놔야 될 좋은 인정을 뒤고하게 자고 했지 사빈을 시행한다 막을 시행통을 다 뒤는 책을 시행하고 때문에 수남 숙제 돈도 받은 니만한 일이 막 와서 고매 받고 말이지 수남시 받다 인피사에서 와서 수남 구조를 그래 사지에 다톡 사지에 공방을 막 제대로 수남을 줘 내가 무슨 남한테 내가 마서 보서 체제 사람들 주변에 제바지 네가 자신 보사는 같이 수남들 저러라 같이 강조 호아마지 좀 어떻게 제대로
So what is most important in the practice of the Dharma is to cultivate an altruistic mind. In the mundane sense, in our mundane life, we are considering our own purpose. The purpose of the self is most important. And so here there is a separation between self and other. And often when we think about altruism, we think that that means that I have to give something to someone else, and that is like an altruistic thing to do. I must give away my things, and if I keep it for myself, then I'm being selfish. But that's not what is meant really here. It's not about really what you do, but it's about intention in your mind. That's most important. Are you concerned about your own benefit or not? And of course, there's no one who only cares about themselves, or no one who only cares about others too, in our outer conduct now. What is important is the intention. All dharmas depend on our intention. And so even if we practice the Dharma, if we do it mainly with a selfish interest, then even the Dharma practice is said to be a cause of samsara. For example, you practice a Yidam deity. If you do it with a selfish intention, then what you are practicing is more of a worldly god. When you practice the deity, the form of the deity appears like a rainbow in the sky. But so outwardly it seems to be the same form as the deity. But because there still is a self, there still is suffering and fear. The deity is selfless. So the deity's form therefore is called the pure illusory body. It is pure in that it is free of the dualistic grasping at self and other. And in terms of not having a body, it is the same as, for example, a bardo consciousness. But a bardo consciousness, for example, has no form, but it has a self in the mind, and therefore it experiences suffering. So whatever activity you engage in, whether it is a Dharma practice or a mundane activity, if your intention is altruistic, if you consider others as more important, then even outwardly seeming negative actions actually become virtuous actions. And that is a quality of bodhicitta. And likewise, if you consider yourself as most important, then even if you practice the Dharma, it will have benefits and also a lot of faults. Maybe temporarily, due to some merit accumulated, you will experience some happiness for a few lifetimes in the higher realms. But ultimately, you cannot attain enlightenment like that. So that kind of merit is like the oil in a butter lamp. It will come to an end. If you seal your mind with altruism, then that kind of merit is inexhaustible, and it will always lead to a twofold result, temporary and ultimate. So it's important to clearly discern between the faults of self-grasping and the benefits of the altruistic mind. Even if you are engaging in exactly the same activity, it has different outcomes depending on the motivation. For example, if you practice generosity, but some people maybe are very rich, and so they have an intention of wanting to become famous and well known for what they do, and so on, or and then having a good reputation. And so even though they have done great things on the outer level, a great act of giving, the result is very small. For a few lifetimes they might get rich, but after that merit will come to an end. And so Sakya Pandita had said in the words of excellent advice, he said that someone who practices a merit that comes naturally, that accomplishes our purposes naturally, effortlessly, is like the sun rays that shine naturally. And any virtue, a meritorious act that is effortful will be exhausted, just like the oil in a butter lamp or a lamp in the wind. And so that kind of merit that we accumulate only for this life will not remain for very long. So what we really need to understand here is that the motivation is what's most important, and not the outer actions of body and speech. So if your motivation is one of altruism and bodhicitta, then all your activities of body, speech, and mind become altruistic. So if you understand that, then you will practice it continuously in whatever you do, whether you practice the Dharma or engage in mundane activities. If you never separate from bodhicitta, then even your worldly activities become actually Dharma practice. And if you lack bodhicitta, and even if you practice the Dharma will have then both faults and also maybe some qualities. So the motivation should be one that aims of one of bodhicitta that aims for perfect enlightenment. That merit will never be exhausted. But any merit, any virtuous act that you practice with a motivation for some temporary happiness, that kind of merit will become exhausted. And that's also actually the fault of not having dedicated one's virtues. So this point should be clearly understood.
Dann wird sich in Körper, Sprache und Bewusstsein automatisch alles als gutes Handeln manifestieren.
배라데라 삼티 때는 바로도 선박하고 창글 요래지 ramjinge 삼티 비 마가 벌었지와는 마다 벌이 사숙성지 사지가 마다 벌가 많이 톱요래 노력 생진 삼지라 마다 벌인 듯이 생진 삼지 사지 삼지를 요래 이것도 탐을 받으나 들어오지랑 버틀지와 요래 배우 지와 그럼 이제 하고는 지와는 점바 요래지 라고 버틀했더니 노선 같이 동거를 세나요 말이지. 제가 처럼 요리지 답답해. 누가 중지해서 마셔. 점포진데 다고 뭘 conna더라고요. 처럼 공부하대. 누가 공부하래. 제가 하나 주파야 요리. 무슨 칼라사나 가서 요리. 보고서 뭐 장화 탑지라 라바트 파치서 요리. 주파이 누가 가서는 노다만 보나 공부 좋아서 주파이 대양제와가 용띠, 대양제와가 용띠, 대양제와가 용띠, 사실 제 용띠, 이제 그래서 암띠양 요래서 다 보는 나오나 나오는 보지야요, 뭐 서로 서로 보듯이 할게요. 이제 선진다 아메 봐요. this something is 상방이 오라니, this 잠바, this 상방이 세보다 보자고요. 이 중리 요리지 다 릉하고가 체질래가야 고치는 망걸 보고도 소라라 동고야 다들은 강바고 뭐라고 상지 뒤집 다 수리래가 남는 신이가 보디치에서 요리 다체 중리시 바지 매중세 바지 중리시 바지 시랍 담매래 시랍 강하네 다 나가 보리시 이들 그런세는 세트부터 가래 강요는 나가 보고 답고자고 대진이니까 라가 나도 좀 열탕치라 들이 많이 영어를 이제 다 생긴 걸 틀든지 용기 돈을 주고 시합 매가
And within this mind of love, actually, the 6 paramitas are naturally complete. For example, when we think about the love between a mother and her child, and actually this is how we begin to develop bodhicitta by remembering the kindness of our mothers. But the Buddhas, for example, they have love for all sentient beings. But even ordinary beings, even animals, for example, at least they love their own children. And so first we need to recognize that feeling of love. When there's love and the mother loves her child, then naturally she will be generous. She will spare no expense. There will be no stinginess. She will give everything to the child. That's generosity. Then ethical discipline is that she will not hurt the child even in the slightest. She will always be gentle with the child and carry it around and so on. And that's the essence of ethical discipline, refraining from harming others. Then when she loves the child, she also will be patient. For example, she will wipe the child's mouth with her hands without feeling disgusted and so on. And no matter how much trouble the child makes, she will not ever hate the child. She will be patient. And all of that is the quality of love. So think about each of these qualities that arise from love. And then there's also meditation, the paramita of meditation, because the mother never forgets about her child. For example, when the child leaves the house and goes to school, she always thinks about the child and wonders what he or she is doing. So that is the essence of love too. And then there is diligence. And that is whatever she does her entire life, she works very hard with body and speech to be able to provide for the child. Because in the future, the child needs to go to school, needs a house, needs a car, and so on. So day and night, the mother works for the child. And making this effort, that is diligence. But what is lacking here, the paramita that is lacking here is wisdom. And instead of wisdom, the mother is grasping at the child, attached to the child as this is my child, and has very little regard for other children. She doesn't really care if other children get like even killed or abused, as long as her child is well. So she feels that all I need to do is care for my child. So there is clinging, there's self-grasping. And to that extent, there also is a natural aversion against others. And so when there is a lack of wisdom, then what happens is that actually good qualities all transform into faults.
Handlungen der Bodhisattvas bereits spontan in der Mutterliebe enthalten. Allein mit der Weisheit. Da hapert es oft. Da nämlich, wo die Mutter dann denkt, mein Kind, ein anderes Kind noch, da muss ich mich nicht drum kümmern, geht mich nichts an. Mein Kind, das ist das Wichtigste. In dem Moment wird gerade Weisheit in den Sand gesetzt. Da ist man voll wieder umfangen von der Idee von Selbst und Ich. Aber abgesehen davon ist in der Mutterliebe schon das meiste aller Bodhisattva-Handlungen angelegt.
네, 사제 탑락해봐. 시합을 사제 시합고 삼제지 용진이 됐다고 용나 나도 저밖에 중됐다고 용도 대세 탑 가리고도 다 나도만 집을 다 당생으로 대려 유목 독독다 참여요. 당원도 차를 신나 해당의 차도를 맞잘 또 다이 대탐지 타투바데 뜨복지나 오다다 인지 가까리지 다 나도 정을 척하던 인의 당생지 차당이가 돼 이렇게 대창 뒤쳐더라 다 상로 찍다가 너무 드라스틱 가리지 너무 드라키 기아도 따따따는지 지왕 가서 실례지 왜시나 다 토마 파마 마제랑 지아간 거 되는 마제고 직장고 말이 만원 받아냐 파마데 지가메가 오 대시랍을 사지 대하고 대랍잖아 들이 메지 셈나 오 다른 거 버리 집지 제거 사마테레 선 하고서 들이 지지에서 다른 거 버리 집지 직과 직자를 랑랑 집지 야머리 치지 직장에 쳐서야 매네야 오딱 참지 대리 나그 집지에 봐도 쓰는데 다자니 와 집지 참지에 대다 유모가 좋대 좀더 봐서 선에 들이지 그래서 볼에 잡아다가 기분 되어 싶지 답들 뭐 추첨라서 와 나직성 맞지 심지는 생각 뭐 심지는 돈 괜히 오래 심지는 동네 됐다고 유모가 조금 좋아를 동네 하고는 뒤볼 가려고도 리니 볼리고도 나 현고마로 초소이나 된서 초소이나 바디 나자르니 뭐 삼사거이나 저 차도 쓰는 용 초반부이나 시장거니 라서가 더 시작거이나 차도거니 뭐 지세여러이나 떠먹거니 뭐 추적 콜로 거이나 되니 태성 오 사기 용디 대바요는 사기 메다 말이 민나기니서는 될더니 사기 거 시중매와 한거를 들이 영인이 다음에 배우나 축소이나 는 대성에 생고마 축소이나 는 거니 소소 생고마를 팔아도 서바쪽을 내가 가르치는 라고 바당 총말다고 내되나 수련 받으니까 소토고 대다고 소토고리 대다고 소토는 빌 메라레 봤다고 콘 메르지바 또야 찍자고 말아 Kokara in Zasa de Malapin Dakator, Toplam or Chibin Junction, Milarepa, the Gila, Tata, get what the Tomlam or Chibin, but I'll fly over Mama, but the super last of the Milarepa, Chansaki, Betis, in that of Glory. The Joker is 7 divided simply Rank Kana Theonati. Theatre sentient subject of my Deva Chacham Besana. The job I only made a day half or Tabachi, Tabachi Solar Stars, and just things or Menkang de Lozo. Shut up without the pin behind the pin on the that is the Florida jumping come to the given marble the Hako woman. Such is simply by the theatre of Hakon. Chicken men simply that I said with the body just said. Langsam to me, Horse of Atamki. This one was during the Sancho Subion, some Indian needs or council. Some hundred needs also. Some hundred is all that boy. Treat this our gang, Jenna, Pingos and Lord in one row. Summer Pingo, and our Pingo Massa, Summer Pingos and Lord there. Then you like Daddy, Pingo rest on that. Pingo somebody told our Daddy Charlotte Shadow your age. Pingo some Lotte, that's about it. The same hundred needs in the rose.
So the Buddha was skillful in means, and with his wisdom, he recognized the quality of love. And even though there is this quality, there still is self-grasping. So what is the method to dispel that? Normally we have an aversion, for example, against anything that we do not identify with, anything that's not ours. And so sentient beings are afflicted by the 6 afflictive emotions. First, there is attachment. That leads to stinginess. That leads to anger. That leads to jealousy. That leads to pride. That leads to ignorance, delusion. The ultimate delusion here is to think that self and other are separate existing entities. So then with that deluded mind, we are attached to those objects and people that we claim to be ours, and we have an aversion against everyone else. For example, we speak about those enemies who hate us. Actually, someone who understands karma and previous lives knows that since beginningless time, there is not a single being who has not been my parent, all mother sentient beings. So with great wisdom, the Buddha had realized that and already taught that a long time ago. So when you know that, for example, if you care for your child, then you will also recognize all beings have been my child. And knowing that, it is just like you are caring for all children by caring for your own child. And in that way, whatever you do becomes an accumulation of merit. Now you do have this karmic fate to care for this child, but then you know that everyone has been your child. And whenever you care for your child, knowing that, you would think that through this virtue, through this merit of me caring for my child, may the 6 afflictive emotions in the minds of all beings be eliminated. And in that way, as you practice generosity and ethical discipline, or even just one of them, you are always dedicating it for sentient beings naturally. So in brief, what has to come to mind is the suffering of other sentient beings, that they suffer in the 6 realms of samsara due to their 6 afflictive emotions. And what is the antidote to that? Each affliction has its own antidote. To purify them, for example, there is the 7-branch offering that we make to the higher beings. So here, for example, the branch of prostration is the antidote to pride. The branch of making offerings is the antidote to attachment and stinginess. The branch of confession is the antidote confession of negativities is the antidote to hatred and so forth. And the branch of rejoicing is the antidote to jealousy. The branch of supplicating to turn the wheel of Dharma is the antidote to ignorance. And then to request the Buddhas to not pass into nirvana is the antidote to doubt. And that means that often we are devoted to the Buddhas, but we also think that they are like people. They are impermanent. And actually, the Buddhas never really disappear. But still, even though we know that, we supplicate them not to pass into nirvana. And in the end, we dedicate. So that's the 7 branches. When it is directed towards higher beings, we practice the 7 branches in order to accumulate merit. And when directed towards sentient beings, we practice the 6 paramitas to accumulate merit. And in that way, whatever you do, such as taking care of your family, your children, you actually can accumulate an incredible amount of merit. For example, like Milarepa, he didn't have any material things to give. All he really had was nettles to eat. He had nothing to share, but he still perfected those paramitas, and he became very famous, even at the present day, throughout the world. His name is renowned, and it is said that all the gods of the 3 planes of samsaric existence all prostrate to Milarepa. And why is that? It all has to do with the state of mind, the intention in the mind. So bring to mind whoever you love very much, and then think that all beings have been just like that. And then a person who understands that, for example, a rich person who knows that, they will do good things in the mundane world and in the Dharma. For example, they are building hospitals or schools and so on. And they will find that there is no benefit in just accumulating money. I have to put my money to use. And even if you're poor and have nothing to give, you can have the aspiration to benefit others. So everything changes depending on your state of mind. And if your state of mind is one that wants to benefit others, then even if you engage in ordinary samsaric activities, it becomes an accumulation of merit. And that is the quality of bodhicitta. So here it says, make an effort in cultivating the preliminary resolve. So the preliminaries, this term is very important to understand. Whatever you do, whether you practice Dharma or engage in mundane activities, the actual preliminary practice is to have an altruistic mind wishing to benefit others. And if you have that, everything you do becomes beneficial. Don't think, may I benefit. This is the wrong intention to have. Every time you have a wish to benefit others, this wish is like warmth or heat that melts the ice block of self-grasping. So this mind that wishes to benefit others, this mind is very, very precious. And when it says here, make an effort in cultivating the preliminary resolve, that really means make an effort in developing this mind, this wish that wishes to benefit others.
내 바르데 예담들 라고 마소 상하게 힘보다 예담을 라 산속들 람 탐지 그 힘보다 남바 사제 바 용도 죽음 망지다 어디 근데 로아들 그냥 강바들 레고는 당보 사자 망지지 못 쏘고 그러더니 그래서 스자하고 강바들 뛰지 막 쏘고 그래 보는 난한 마찬가지 강바도는 땡기도 사실은 동대 무서워래. 대로 저는 띠보 가리리 셈나 레이든들이 시키고 그랬어. 준비를 시키 가리리. 오, 저 삼바다 니게인데 기와는 처럼 내 정리에 샤스. 대면은 사실 내가 중대 이제 톱나요. 삼바다 니기로 톱고 요래. 톱을 들어오지는 삼바다 니기리 탑지 거든 냠들이 무쇠가 망분냠도 돼 톱고 요래. 인체 싸다졌어. 특히 속차되면 탑은 토마토를 줄로 거서 강에 동에 인게 세게 요래. 난 생구 제박을 삼지도 다치 모르. 그래서 하고는 대리 가다다 세당은 니모가 탑지 따때 독소리 대 녹았던 거에 대리 시체에서 오 취념이 시발 삼년제리스 삼년제 사시보 이상들고 삼년제는 같다 메신저로 빈도면은 기와처럼 알라 이제 산대 인사 이시우서라 네 줄로 따때로 계사 말이 이 테마 실들이 오 세디 기보사네 저다 땅아 오 총례람는 로모동에 잡아를 같이 해서 오 저 총례람는 로 잡아를 아서 제가 탑락해 배에서는 잡아라서 왔다 때서 팽이 요래 네 제법 비토고 말이라 그래 준비 하모를 때서 중으로 피마 좀다 살도 가야 피고는 거 거를 가서 때도 올라고 다시 그래 또 레드들이 망치들 상속성을 이치 쳐보지나 들때 망치들 들때 라고인데 이제 점이게 진사 시와데 문주고 상속성이 띠보네 상속성이 내려지는 상속성을 다 사람들하고 나중에 오늘더니 고아창한 거에 대신에더니 라고는 토마 라 생톱고래서 공이 문주고 상속성이 유대세 코로나 들이라를 하고 잡아라지.
Then the second point is the practice of the Yidam deity, which we have said is the essence of the secret mantra of the Vijayana. And so first, Bodhichitta is the essence of all paths of Buddhist practice. It is the foundation. For example, if you want to build a house, you first need to establish a firm foundation. And actually in Western countries, people are very good with that. So the houses are really very stable, very firm. And actually also in Tibet, in the old days, the houses were actually quite stable. So this stability, basically, what that is in the Dharma, is a trust in karma, cause and effect. And that means that you trust that the actual cause of happiness is love and compassion. That is the true cause of happiness in all lifetimes. Even the slightest happiness comes from an action that was founded on love and compassion. Even the happiness of animals, for example, there are certain animals who are gentle and who stay together their entire life. And then there's other animals that are very dangerous, and when you just see them, you run away or you kill them. You have no choice. So the difference is in the mind, really. When you see that love is most precious. And what contradicts love, what opposes love, is especially hatred, anger, the other afflictive emotions. So what we call the Dharma is love and compassion, and it is most precious. And even if the result of your practices are not so apparent in this life, you know that this is the gem that you bring with you for all future lives. And when you trust in that, then you will not develop a wrong view towards the Dharma. If you do not know that, it's easy to develop a wrong view. For example, when a business person wants to be successful in their business, then maybe one teacher tells them, practice Zambala, then you will be rich. So then that's also one skillful means by the Buddha, but still, whether or not this really turns out the way one hopes depends on one's karma.
레담들 라는 인도서 이제 좀 미게 인사대 가리 레주들이 이식 대바티 이제 저밤에 하고서는 당호 상적 선을 이치용나 이바 강리 상제 세기 선비 준적 바이바 대하고는 따와놓으나 이제 저밤에 라다 상제도 선지 선비 제제 바티 따와 가고 그래서 이제 좀 미게 됐사세 대하고서는 들이 하고 체드세 도발세 바라들이 삼바탄 이제 세매 받기네 들이 다다 삼행하고
Eine 30.
나를 자꾸 잘 몰라서
Chöd, 숨지 솔깃.
삼행지 따고
Nein. 31. 31.
And so then if your business doesn't turn out well, then you might think that it hasn't helped, the practice hasn't helped, and they're just cheating.
31.
And then you develop a wrong view towards the Dharma.
31.
But if on the foundation you understand karma and you really trust in Bodhichitta, then this will not happen. And so then it says your body, on page 31, when concerning your body, the king, the body of the deity, if you do not seize the firm support, which is the foundation, the mother, the Dakini, with her retinue, will not appear. Therefore make efforts concerning the body, which is the deity of meditation. This body of the deity, to stabilize that in the unchanging ground, what it is that
다다 리데 마발로티 제소마라 다다 닐리족도 본보는 마다 어떤 중질이 나타등에 등이 저 본보로 와서 또 나라 냠도 요래지 또 나라고 속족대지 담ар치 봐도 벌써 되네 또 마도 빼 잡고다니 가래들이 다다 나타도 등이 저래지 오늘 산족심 뭐나 왜나 라칸들이나 뒤는 루미들이잖아. 들이 이건 사만 통속고 시합을 뛰는들이 나도 풍 세 용왕아 영화 난유몽아 신아 자와랑아야 요거랑지 저디나 그러가냐 비비랑지 들이 제라 풍감지지 배마보셔야 녀마마보셔야 이런 기본 앞에서나 무슨 뜻이고 말이지. 누나도나 루스랑 이들이 설륜의 중앙아래 낭센데 시가에 사운다 차들 가자면 또다 사운다 가리 산적세들 체라 루메요 바다 산적세들 이몽이 실ጆ도 그래 다다 이몽 바다 산적세나 이몽 쪽대 발신 결성 앞에서 이제도 그래 되게 저를 라르라고 잡고라스 이제 좀 이제 사대 이제 선대식 뭐 광사제 그들이 세르보드라 단 조광아데 영어랑지 유모 선 유모방아데 시가랑지 대다 차대요 마칸도 관방마다 대시나 들 마칸도 관방마다 되네 대다고 돈이 상하냐서랑 송나 들지도 답을 메요나 그렇게 그 마칸도 관방시 받았더니 심진사제 민바다 좋다고 요래 배는 자롱대 쇼나 철교와진 자롱지 셔서고요 배서 심진사 핀토고 요래지 그더니 사단 간도 탐지는 지와는 거 코디 예민하고 차들이 진실 가르치는 사람답지 볼백도고요. 제대로 측다세 만칸데 대마시나 따뜻하디 눈 산속 세면 나디 집어나 따뜻히 나디 따라서 마마마로요라 나디 따라서 마로요 산속 세도 따라서 뭐지 그래 파신 속은 좋아하지 야야야 안 로요데 산속 세도 따라서 야르지 드리랑 게 르제아티 클락을 민속고요 다 버지를 민속고요
And so what that means is now to realize the deity in this unchanging ground is when you have firm trust in karma, that is, you trust in bodhicitta. And you know on the basis of that the Buddhas and sentient beings have one mental continuum. And now if you understand that view, you have understood this changeless basis, that Buddhas and sentient beings have a single basis. So in order to realize that, we must first develop immeasurable love and compassion. Regarding the body as the king now, Marpa had said that when not realized, then this aggregate of the body that we have taken on, that becomes the very cause of all pain and suffering and sickness. But when you realize its nature, it is realized as in union with the deity. The deity is with the body. And so therefore, one should give up one's ordinary grasping, clinging to the body. And so how is it the king then? Now, we have said it is the cause of suffering and illness and so on. But if you cultivate bodhicitta, it is like you're going into a temple and you turn on the light and you can see all the qualities of the temple. So if you develop awareness, then you realize that on the outer level we have the 5 elements. The nature of the 5 elements are the 5 female Buddhas. In the mind there are the 5 afflictions. By nature they are the 5 male Buddhas. So naturally your body and mind is the union of the 5 Buddha families, Yap and Yum. Of course, we can really elaborate on that. Our aggregate sense sources and elements there's much to be said. A Kempo could talk about that for many days. But in brief, the body is comprised of the 5 elements. And within the mind, we have the seeds of the 5 wisdoms. As we mentioned yesterday, it is like the seed of a flower. And when that seed encounters bodhicitta, then the afflictions transform into wisdom. Or the 6 afflictions become the 6 paramitas. So the body consists of the 5 elements, which are the 5 female Buddhas, and the 5 afflictions are the 5 wisdoms. And so here when it says that the Dakini with her retinue will not appear, what that means is that when you know that, when you practice Vajrayana in an authentic way, you know that your body can ripen into the pure illusory form of the deity. And as such, then you are able to bring benefit to sentient beings, to ripen and liberate them. Now you know that ice can be melted into water. So with the Dakinis and the retinue, them appearing means that you are establishing a connection to them, to the deity and the Dakinis. You realize the indivisibility of samsara and nirvana, and then your activities in the world or the Dharma will become vast. If you don't know that, if you lack bodhicitta and only think about yourself, then you are riding the horse of self-grasping, and that horse will bring you further and further down in samsara. If you ride the horse of bodhicitta, that horse will bring you further and further up towards liberation. So here, concerning your body, which is the king, the body of the deity, that is here to recognize that your body can actually ripen into the pure illusory form of the deity.
Motivation. Und das kann man in der Gegenprobe sehen, denn immer dann, wenn wir uns aus Selbstsorge getrieben mit so einer Übung befassen, dann wird daraus nichts Gutes entstehen. Ein aus eigensüchtiges Vorstellen als Gottheit mag uns zwar die Vorstellung gelingen, aber der Nutzen wird nicht erfolgen. Und es wird durch dieses Üben man selber immer weiter heruntergezogen werden. Die eigenen Qualitäten nehmen immer mehr ab, wenn wir eine solche Vorstellung aus Eigennutz betreiben. Da aber, wo wir uns auch von Herzenswärme leiten lassen, dann wird dieses Üben als Weisheitsgottheit die Qualitäten unseres Bodhichitta, Herzensmutes und alle anderen Qualitäten des Erwachens weiter und weiter anwachsen lassen.
오늘 다다서 감투디 좀 물을 못 돼. 자유 급자 톱되어. Milarepa 감투디 물을 못 돼. 좁게 시험다 그래. 톱되 그래. 얘는 자유 급자 톱는다. 자부 자사시 봐도 자수 급자 톱나지 자시 좀시고 그래. 가익 좋은 것도 없대. 다 자고도 선택할 거도. 세부 좋은 거 그래. 자고 어떻게 잠방때 36거리스. 야, 36을 들으니 시합용 거리. 다리 많이 벌어 타보자반하기. 대유는 때 문제 자고 탐색해야. 자카를 만나 36바 탐색해. 람탄 첨대라서 봐지는 자시제라. 자카 탐색 대치 가래도. 야, 다 조버지는 당사지는 높아 가래도 파파 가라도 나를 먹고 요래. 나를 내주 사파. 대들 잡이 샘대 가래. 오. 산촉 sem지 sem지 타마티 잡았다고 sem지 있어. 랑 집어 잡고 자 톱동아. 그냥 되게 자식이 잡고 자고 참아 세고 잡고 자고 너는 산촉 센터 나와 제고 그랬어. sem지 탑지 쌈탑 그랬지. 만남 과다 있는 sem지 탑을 삼바 세미 봐도 오고 그랬어. 되는 형제 세미 봐 있지나. 들이 미는 빼나 미 가시 랑 좋아주 저거 말이 담만 버티 돼요. 야, 매 가시게 약하고 송송제서요. 약하고 신지시네요. 오, 가르쳐 메타마가 가가도가 가시를 가가도 가시면 가 그랬지나. 생분에서 때렸지. 오, 자식 종시 받을 때도 사지에 사와도 생기를 나고 자고 너는 세배 싸놓고 오나 사바체미 배우나. 그 자식 종 특별요. 그렇게 했더니 랑그 공부가 나고 자서봤더니 마카부 걸방 너요 랑 조네 yin 조람 또 서들들 gel리고 용티나 랑 생주 삼바당 이제 있지는 되게 생기 삼들 나고 자는더니 최다시면 총을 되게 요라 빼대다 나고 자고요. 너는 그 장미에서 좀 그런 삼성지 거래서 삼성지 오늘 통당 그도 산촉선 삼성지 사바체를 오나 이 동당 산촉선 더블은 다 톡들이 생기 탐지 사지 공방이 좋다고 그래서 감독들이 오콘로아 매일 감독 참여 용티에서 감독들이 샤소 무벌 가와던 이제 매연에서 매송가 감독들이 감독 이나 감감은 요사마를 보는 바지다지 또 감독 그러다 몇집벌 감독들이 샤소 무벌 가와서 가는 감독들이서 감독도 감마데 감독도 다 산속선 거라 메탄톤 로리요 오 자본이지 사지 더버지 산속선도 사용 서산속선다라고 주고는 성 담아요라 산속선하고라 뭐지다라 남산속선 되는 제발이 샘동 산속선이 예매시파 대산지는 제발요라 대자신들이 어떤 모두 산속선을 산속선들이 체비하고 보면 이 산속선 한카마 중중은 되게 new 바탕 거를 놓차를 줘도 그러다.
So then, actually, we have found the precious human body that consists of 6 elements. And Milarepa also had said that as precious human beings, having obtained that, this land of humans, this world of the humans is really like a nirmanakaya pure land, because we have those 6 elements. Because actually there is only 2 places where beings have 6 elements. One is here in this world, and the other one is in the eastern direction called the land of manifest joy. And all the other beings, like in the form realm and so on, are said to have only 5 elements. So the additional 6th element that we have as humans and also animals have is the Bodhichitta element, which is like within the mind, the subtle element of within the mind that's connected to love. But here we need to develop immeasurable love, because otherwise ordinary love turns into a fault, because it turns into clinging attachment. And so in any case, having obtained this precious human body with the 6 elements is like we are in a kingdom where we can seize a throne. But seizing a throne also means that you must be able to know how to reign, how to rule over a kingdom, how to sustain it. So what kind of mind must a king have? A king must have love for his subjects. And only if there's love, he will have wisdom, just like a mother's love for her child, for example. And so when a king loves their people, then he can do great things for the people and the country. For example, there are certain countries we can see that have good laws and good roads and so on, and general well-being. And then think about other leaders of countries that only think about themselves. How much suffering do the people in that country experience? So we can actually see a lot of examples of that in the world. So actually there's 3 kinds of bodhicitta mind generation, and the last one is the king-like aspiration or mind generation. And so here one seizes the throne of a kingdom, but then one also must care for one's subjects. So in brief, what this all is to say is that you should not separate from love and compassion. Seeing all beings, all sentient beings as your mothers, you must develop immeasurable love and compassion. That there are some people in this world actually who are not even able to provide for their own living. They're smoking and drinking and so on. And then there's other people in this world who become leaders of countries, like a president. And then, of course, some people like them, some dislike them. But anyways, we need to look at their state of mind and what is their intention. So a Buddha, with his intention to benefit beings, a Buddha is able to care for all beings. So if you have immeasurable love, you're able to care for your entire country. And that is what is meant here with the Dakini and the retinue, they will appear or gather. So in brief, here we are really speaking about the qualities of a Sangha. A Sangha is one who is themselves liberated from suffering and therefore can show the path to liberation to others. And so...
생각해 양 그게 뭐저 가르쳐요. 다 왕을 감더니 라고는 나랑 그 공도 뭐도 그 공도 사만인 게 영도 공주는 그래 왜 했어요. 어때 그걸 영도 사이 보랑제에서 양খিনি 오징 알아서 온 거래. 들이 대땡하게 돼서 어디 영도 쪽 보고 진짜 홍쪽 보고 온데는 문이 장이 했더니 소자동아 소통만 붙여고 저들까지 직당 제대로 보면 솔라고 해서 그 사실 람서 귀나 다음에 봐요. 다음에는 인상지 없는 배제도 가시 대사만 리솔로 봐 차솔라고도 망보 차솔라고 나 리름마치 탈리롱 가르로 봐 마치 그 차만은 강에서 있어서 나도 라지도 다음에 대금이 좋고 요래 대회 니지도 이게다 걸 라지 제일 그로 싸우면은 대당만 다 남용적으로 로마스는 그거를
And so if you have this mind of love, then even a cat or a dog, for example, will want to stay close to you. On the relative level, if you develop love and compassion, then naturally and easily you will realize the ultimate bodhicitta. And so here this term, make efforts or apply yourself diligently, what that means is that you need to do it again and again. You need to make an effort, for example, in practicing the Yidam deity. And so regarding that, I have a personal experience to share. Now, when it comes to visualizing the form of a deity, actually, personally, I feel that if I try to do that, I cannot even stay with it for a minute. For example, when I think of the deity like Yamantaka and so on, then it doesn't stay in the form. But how it arises in the mind is when the love to the deity arises. When first there is love for the deity, then the deity, even if just vaguely, instantly appears in the mind. And first it appears in all kinds of sizes, and sometimes it's just the color and so on. And slowly you habituate, and later, especially when you encounter difficulties or you encounter some dangerous situation, you will be able to bring to mind the deity instantly. And if you're able to do that, then at that time the deity can actually protect you. Because when you think of the deity, then you're not thinking of the self. So this I found really had personal benefits for myself, because it is due to this self, it is within that concept of a self that all our karmas and imprints since beginningless times are contained. It is like old pair of clothing. But within Buddha nature, actually, none of that exists, these karmas and imprints. So thinking in this way, it's actually quite amazing or strange. And when you think of the deity, then there is no self. When you think of the seed syllable like Hong, again there is no self. Actually, regarding that, I was asking also Kendra Rinpoche, since it is difficult for me to visualize the form of the deity, I said to him that even I can't visualize the deity, so what can I tell them? Is it okay if they just visualize the seed syllable? And he said that is fine. The seed syllable is actually like the palace of the deity, and it's the same. So therefore, if you only meditate on the Hong, for example, that is sufficient. And actually, personally, I found many times in my life the deity has saved my life, because I thought of the deity single-pointedly. For example, I had an accident and held on to my prayer wheel and instantly thought of Tara. In an instant, momentarily, I think of the deity. And when you think of the deity, then there is no fear. Some people, for example, they just slip, they trip and fall, and then they break a bone. I, for example, have never broken a bone my entire life, and I fell down like high cliffs and had terrible accidents and so on. I've never broken a single bone because I instantly think of the deity. And in that moment, there is no self. So I can really say personally that the deity really truly has protected me. And so as long as you think of the deity, as long as you bring the deity to mind, it is sufficient. Even if it is not so clear, as long as it is in your mind, it is sufficient. So that's just a personal instruction or personal experience I wanted to share with you in the form of sort of like a pith instruction.
Das führe ich ganz eindeutig darauf zurück, dass hier der Schutz dadurch erfolgte, dass ich in diesem Moment rein erfüllt war von der Vorstellung der Gottheit. Und das ist die Aufgabe des Übens, dass wir nach und nach immer wieder diese Gestalt der Gottheit wachrufen.
라라가 사이담 가래나 사탐지 저 디나 아니 사탐지 세 고족 나만나서 있네 아니 대토로지 호자바는 시바사들 자와서지 실론도 찍지리 너무 진부이라고 야가다고 너무 찍었더니 단 나만나서 야가만 보고 대답을 마시나 사지지 마라 차로 사라주 바지 같이 사들 rumaka 보도록 뭐도는 그래 대대로 자와는 마삼 되니 저렇게 사탐지 오마홍들이 되게 오마홍들이 대바세 제 되지 예 홍적이나 되게 게는다다 내지잖아 제야미 바테 줄럼 탐지를 주인하고 요래 오마홍들이 주인하고 요래 대외들이 로마다 요래다 게는 내지지 바로 오마홍들이 대바세 이제 참에 다 고조 컨트롤을 납하고 요래 대ኛ들 안에 사실은 대다 고조 니봐야 통고 요래 그렇지 이달면서 라면 이제 봐라 오한테 대서 사보래
And so then it doesn't really matter which Yidam deity you practice. Actually, all the deities are included in one deity. And the deities appear on the outer level in various forms, but those different forms, appearances of the deity is just like one being changing clothes. It is said that within the expanse of primordial wisdom, all the Buddhas are one. So all the wisdom deities are one. It is just like one tree that has many branches. But if one doesn't know that it is all one tree, then that deity will become a worldly or an ordinary god. For example, sometimes people ask, if I practice white Tara, will I offend green Tara? So don't think like that at all. Actually, all deities are included within Om Ahung. So you can practice the Om Ahung Vajra recitation or just meditate on the Hung as the development stage. And so here, when it says make efforts, it means to never forget about. Remember it in all your day-to-day activities. And the Om Ahung is something that we can always remember in our day-to-day activities. So therefore, I'm telling my students to make an effort in practicing the Om Ahung, and many of them actually were really able to produce some results in that practice. So this instruction here in terms of making effort, make an effort in practicing the Om Ahung Vajra recitation. Actually, this is a very profound practice.
lama kubje she bande teni lama ge yuntin she yore de koja haja karchi bo yore tata khashi ge lama pete ba che bo yore ne ka ngam bgina tse wa che bo yore tu ma she tu shado gore tu shim go che lo ja de go ja la pa de go de ngwe ko pa ge ja le de ma sha sa tang ba che jo yo mai de lama she wa de lama de ina simply samje sa ba de ni che tse ma se de ya yo mari tamar 빠는 아 시송 sambi leje lungu ji so done tin doar to sa kan cham dore lama ge shi ni da yo ma da me ne ti da lama ko je shi en ti ni lama ko to ko song long ko to chu ko 대양 오원이고 대라가 세니 내lok도 그랬더니 라마다 라신 사지에서 적도 또 남들라서 이제 계속 구고 됐다고 라마 센터 사지에 센터 랑신 가요 말 사자지 뭐 하고서 대 시스모더니 라마 급제대 라마가 용띠 라게 줄은 작실라 들이다 라마 쪼거를 샤자사가 나지 매일 레비오래 야, 드니 라마 로거도 라마 센티 다 보지를 다들 남남 가신소 다들 사기나기 너지 장나기 드니 라마 죽어도 사자쳐 보고 드니 사자집에 또 오르지 뭐니 거지 드니 랑 센터 탐체도 따로 나가다 오르지 라마다한테 사자도 카가메로 하고 또 드니 뭐니 거지 생고 제신 보조를 요 말이 돼. 좋아요 말이 돼. 자와 탐지 실로도 적들이 되니 다 남칼 이요 말 빼서 또 니디지 시고 되니 뭐지 그 다다 라마다 나니도 적이래서 들이 들이 노래더니 라마 로컬라 들이 죽을다 들이 라마 뭐지 그지 동대에 한국까지 용진시고 그랬어.
So the next root of all blessings is the Guru. So the next practice is to accomplish the 4 kayas of the Guru. And so here we understand what this explains really is the qualities of the Guru. And that's very important to understand. So some people do have a lot of devotion for the Guru. And for example, many people love me, or I'm like just an old man, and they ask me even, please don't die. You must live to at least 100 years and even more. Actually, these kind of words are really quite, frankly speaking, stupid, because there's no one in this world who doesn't have to die. Everyone has to die. And actually, a true, authentic guru has immeasurable love for sentient beings. So that mind actually cannot die. For an ordinary being, when they died, they think, I have died, and then they follow their karmic winds, and those karmic winds will bring them to the 6 realms of samsara, where they continue to wander. But the guru, the lama, has no self. And his essence is the 4 kayas. That is the form, the body is the nirmanakaya, the speech, the sambhogakaya, and the mind, the dharmakaya. And the 4th kaya is the essence kaya or svabhavika kaya. And that is when you realize the nature of your mind, you realize that, as Chigden Sumgön had said, I am a yogin who has realized that my own mind, the Guru's mind, and the Buddha's mind are one. So when you realize Mahamudra, you realize that your mind, the Guru's mind, the Buddha's mind are not separate. So the 4 kayas is when you fully realize the Guru's qualities. And so first you begin by practicing the nirmanakaya of the Guru. And so here you visualize, for example, Shakyamuni Buddha who appeared in this world. Then you practice the sambhogakaya of the Guru. And that is then the pure illusory form of a deity, or for example, like Vajradhara and so on. And then you practice the Dharmakaya of the Guru, and that is the meditation of Mahamudra. And then practicing the Svabhavika Kaya of the Guru is when the mind then becomes free of all fixation, all grasping, and you realize the space-like nature of the mind. Then you realize that your mind, the Guru's mind, and the Buddha's mind have never been separate. You realize that the mind is beyond birth and death. It is ever unchanging. So within the expanse of primordial wisdom, all the Buddhas, all the deities are one. Within space, there is no duality. So when all dualistic grasping has completely collapsed, then you realize the 4th kaya, the Svabhavika kaya. So normally we think that there is me and there is the guru, and you think that because there is a duality in bodies, in form. So to clear this away and to realize that you are inseparable from the guru, you gradually practice the 4 kayas of the guru, and then when you finally realize the 4th essence kaya or svabhavika kaya, that is when you realize that you are actually indivisible from the guru's mind.
Als nicht verschieden vom Nirmanakaya des Buddha. So wie Shakyamuni Buddha, der in dieser Welt unter uns Sterblichen erschienen ist. Jemand mit Fleisch und Blut zum Anfassen. Das ist der Nirmanakaya-Aspekt der Erscheinung. Vielleicht im weiteren Fortschreiten unseres Übens und Verstehens kommen wir dazu zu begreifen, dass der Guru Sambhogakaya auch ist. Reine Lichtgestalt, makelloser Weisheitskörper. So wie Sambhogakaya im Buddha Manifestation. Letztendlich aber ist das Bewusstsein des Guru frei von Kommen und Gehen, kennt kein Geborenwerden und kein Sterben. Diese ursprüngliche Bewusstheit ist Mahamudra, die große Gegenwart, ist Dharmakaya des Buddha, der alles durchdringt. Und wenn dann noch in uns die Einsicht dämmert, so wie es Thigten Sumgön so schön hervorgehoben hat, dass eben dieser Buddha und dieser Lehrer draußen nicht verschieden ist vom
We are on page 45 now.
Bewusstsein. Dass im Kern die Natur und Grundbeschaffenheit unseres Bewusstseins selbst ununterscheidbar eins mit der des Guru ist. Dann ist dies das Svabhavika-Kaya oder den Essenzkörper des Buddha zu erkennen. So wird man schrittweise nach und nach vielleicht ein solches Verstehen, so eine Einsicht bekommen, aber das ist das Eigentliche und Wichtige daran, wenn wir uns auf Guru oder Lehrmeister beziehen.
대라더니 다다 라마급제디 영어진데 말라리베 남타는 때는 서로 과하고 살서 디 해바 방법이 나니 강을 말라리베 저성발이 로마탑시게 다 청랑왕 요래 저처럼 청 마시로지 다청 꼬마시고 데티 말라리베 죽도 털고 요래지 저도 대담지 이치우나 나 세대 해야요 말이죠. 나 중앙가에 가는 찾대요. 서게 이시우는 같아서 무슨 요래지. 나 중앙가에 찾대요 되네. 다다 뉴몽한테 이 시간은 메이디요. 메이디는들이 중앙가에 뉴몽을 뉴만하고 중앙가다 통고요래. 대통령 대화요래. 중앙가에랑 이제 송사용고 대통령 생물적 띵들아 빼는 사마 연구요래 중앙가에 갈 잡히는 너다 소설은 유무방아요라 대행하니 오 유무바티 양이 싫라고 차가 쓰는수나 유무바티 역토요라 대식으로들이 다리 톡 남친이 이시실로지 이시세라 람마가 톡이 이시다 라고 또고 이시라냐 제발 빠졌냐 말이 유무바시 어떻게 말하리 또 그래서 오 유무 이시대 말라르병 오르종 라모 오르종 라마 탐지다다 라마 산속선으로 쏘아데 라마 죽어 라마 죽은 거 거기는 죽었대 롱고 쪼고 잡은데 다 쪼고 가리 노아도 참아 쪼고리 다 가시게 내 쪼고리인데 쪼고 말이 산속선 요와 탐지게 쪼고대 라마 기비신이 탐지 서 매이나 낭 샘디 산속선요리 다들 사지를 보고라고요. mina sem dershi ni bo kon sheda da no o sheda go troko nyava re shenda go troko yeda re o to mo go troko tro re o ta se nyumong go troko de no do chama troko re troko kare ke to go se ji chi pa re chada go re no do chaduna 내가 진유 강 속체는 지라 속에 레지 롱데 매지 시송한테 센트랑의 유무 강 속체는 디왕을 쇼도 요래 답변은 시당 고소올라나 고소올라서 지광의 고소올라는 거 좋고 파마카레나 다세 동 지광의 소고 다시 지리산이 되는 시당광의 소소 들이 지나적 차도 요래 무슨 요래 대사고 고거나 쭉듯이 봐도 대사고 고거를 아마 쭉뻗어지 다달라마 되시는 답이 오 상속심 시체와래스 상속심 시체와도 했더니 그러면 쭉뻗어지 달라만다 쭉거라 쭉거지 가리 상속심 시체와도 쭉거라 오 교신이 답이 좋은 걸 무슨 죽지방 교신이 답이 삼세월 오 소상적으로 무슨 레좀 레미시마들라 다 다니 돌아 오 교신이 답이 주시에마다 시관이가 네가 죽거라 네가 죽거라 죽거를 봐야지 쫄디는 쫄디 봐야지 운이 많이 봐 좀아리 다 사지 좀 사지 셈디 사지를 때 진시당의 진이다 야와 사지와 여다 사지와 도로 사지를 때까지 내가 지지적으로 저는 나타나는 나도 저걸 마을로 대도 차로 그때 노를 좀 삼아주고 공수 단독으로야.
So regarding those qualities of the four kayas, there was one story I saw in Milarepa's life story that really also helped me understand personally. And so that was before Milarepa had passed into nirvana. His disciples supplicated him. They said, "You have complete freedom, miraculous powers, and please do not die, do not leave us." And Milarepa responded to that, "It is just the body that dies. The body has to perish. But if you really trust me, you know that my mind cannot die. My mind will continue to pervade the five elements, and whoever thinks of me, I will be there with them, actually be there with them." So regarding the five elements, pervading the five elements, so the five afflictions have, in his case, transformed into the five wisdoms. So the five afflictions are like the coarse, like form, appearance, and their subtle form, their radiance is subtle, just like a rainbow that we can see in the sky. And actually, we can see all of that in the outer universe, examples of what we are talking about. So oneself, we have the five afflictive emotions, but if we see them with clear awareness, those afflictions can be eliminated. And so actually the omniscient wisdom mind of the Guru and your own awareness, your own wisdom that realizes your own true nature are not any different at all, not even in the slightest. So that is the power of Milarepa. And we can, this power has the essence of the Guru. This is the nature of the Guru. Also it is said elsewhere, I supplicate to the actual Guru, that is Bodhichitta. So from the Dharmakaya appears the Sambhogakaya, and from that the Nirmanakaya. Regarding the Nirmanakaya, actually it is said that all the beings in the six realms are Nirmanakayas. So some people say that, so Nirmanakaya in Tibet means Turku. So some people say, oh, he's a Turku, he's not a Turku. And mainly it has to do with Bodhichitta. Someone who has Bodhichitta, we might call them a Turku, a Nirmanakaya, a spiritual teacher. On the outer level, they are the same as us. They are human beings. But within the mind, there is Bodhichitta. So we call them a Turku or Nirmanakaya. If from now, Buddha, even though we have Buddha nature, if hatred arises, for example, the Turku of hatred is a hell being, or the Turku of stinginess is a hungry spirit, or the Turku of ignorance is an animal. So the beings of the six realms are all Turkus or Nirmanakayas, in a way, emanations of their own six afflictive emotions. The basis is the same. It is like pure water. only due to a temporary condition, beings give rise to the 6 afflictive emotions, and then depending on which of the affliction is stronger, they take birth in any of the 6 realms. After they have died, the karmic winds will take them, depending on which affliction is predominant, and they have no control then over where to go. For example, if anger is predominant, then in your lifetime, for example, you will kill or abuse even your friends or your parents or anyone really. And then when you die with a mind of hatred, then you will become an emanation of that. So this is how we need to understand Turku and nirmanakaya. So we call a spiritual teacher a lama, a turku, and that is now someone that has a greater mind of bodhicitta. But our bodies, for example, are the same. It is just that within their minds they have great love and compassion. We, on the other hand, if we don't know karma, then we consider ourselves as most important. But essentially, for example, the one who teaches the Dharma and the one who listens to it, both are actually nirmanakayas. And this term nirmanakaya, it literally means like emanation. So that is something that is not real, something that's fake. So we are sort of fake Buddhas. But no, even though our mind is the Buddha, if we encounter the condition of hatred, for example, then we go to hell. But essentially, even hell beings are actually Buddhas, or hungry spirits are Buddhas, or animals are Buddhas. Only due to a temporary condition, things change. For example, it is like pouring black ink into pure water. The color of the water will change momentarily. It will turn dark. But the true nature of water still remains water. And so this is how we can understand that all beings in the 6 realms of samsara are really nirmanakayas.
Nita lama yona lama kote chokole yogore, song de long kore yogore, song long kore kare yogore, tanga ke chute yidam, de gong ha, de yidam shekhe yore. Tani pena soso ona, zogdi mege zongna, sani shela, ta pardo tangpo yibasabani, ra pardo tangpo ni chola, chukoro sangye ni tani, chukoro sangye yore. Nipa yadam ko lara kombi chena tani longo le sangye ni yadam ti zokje le sebde yadam ko zokje le salo do yore te shangam do yore tani samba te pardo samba ni sangye no sangsok sem trine ta te jena tri yang jar me le jiwa ram ram se ji to te sangsok sem yu tina te so ka ro ji ali be ta so yadam ti be lama ko shek so lama ti nyami ji ra yadam kare nyami chena te nang sende lama di sende ma hago gore tri lama di de ba chene ya lama di zo gomna ta long go ti tong me ba la tani musen di je me ba la lama ge song de dong da ha ho sa na be le de zhui nen wang to go yo de de nga ge de zhui nen wang shu ge ja wa tam ji jin ba dang ka ma ba sa ja ko ma khong na be kang nang tri de da de ge zhui nen sha to go do de se le 문에 전에 직장에 배려 살아 다 손으로 거지는 오 라마 거식설 빠지 견데 요래 디책이 라마 센데 책 나그 생비 용도 이제 책그는 용거 요래 대회는 고통하지 무슨 통고요 오 직접이래 말에 다들 샤이즈 공통인데 주방 통고요 강과 통고요 말이 문에 라마게 적대 해야 매봐라 그랬다 kapa jala te mari jokta shakti infukur muni chane kapa jasongna te meya yo mari te trevine ne thongwa te na gi te lama shia me ba no le te socio sanchok se te shia me sanchok se yura chen soci se te jeshe me ba shina te lama la jeshe me ba shagel me lama shiso de be tango mari te Garchen mori o te lama longgozi, lama chogozi, da lama chugozi, there must be pardo tambo niponi. 소소 그냥 이제는 상계로 됐다 요래 이 무슨랑 그냥 ስለ지 라마티도 라마 예담 지속로 연구 요래 이걸로 예담만 공라먹고 건네요 라마 샘도 딱 요래 때문에 그래서 뭐 대하고서 오 라마 심하시 메스 사람이냐면이나 대다 하고 특별히 들라면 어디 하고 라마 시선 다 사선상들 라마 말좀 라마 말좀 때 lama i machine te ro cha ke yo lama no ti so lama shi ma shi yo ma te ta ha ko ko ni
Ja, so wäre also dieser Sicht heraus der
And so also one way to understand the kayas is the lamas, the gurus form, the body is nirmanakaya, and the speech is sambhogakaya. So why is the speech sambhogakaya? Because I, for example, tell you, meditate on this or that yidam deity, recite this or that mantra. So that is passed on through speech. And then when we die, then through these instructions, there is a way to attain liberation in the first, second, or third bardo. So ideally, one attains liberation in the first bardo through recognizing the Dharmakaya. Or secondly, when one has habituated to the practice of the Yidam deity, then one can attain enlightenment in the Sambhogakaya nature in the second bardo. And at that time when the mind recalls the Yidam, in that moment the mind becomes that Yidam and then takes birth in the Pure Land of that Yidam. And then in the third bardo, attaining enlightenment in the third bardo means that you have habituated to Bodhichitta, and then you take birth again in, for example, the human world in all sorts of different ways, for example, as a teacher, spiritual teacher that benefits beings and so on. So the speech is the Sambhogakaya, the Yidam. Therefore, even when the Lama dies, then the Lama will become that Yidam that the Lama has practiced. So we need to understand that the Lama, the Guru, is the inner mind, not the outer body. Understanding that, then the Sambhogakaya is still there, even though we can't see it or touch it. So we need to bring to mind the words, the speech of the Guru. And actually, if we understand that, we also understand how we can, for example, receive an empowerment through the live stream, for example, through TV. For example, I myself have received empowerments from His Holiness the Dalai Lama or Holiness Karmapa or the Sakya Holiness and so on. And the blessings are exactly the same. So when the Guru dies, then still the Guru actually remains within us. Actually, everything, all the qualities from the Guru are really transmitted through us from the Guru's words. And actually, the live stream or TV is actually a good example because when we see the Guru on a picture or on TV, for example, we are actually seeing his real form, which is illusory. Actually, the physical form of flesh, blood, and bones that we see, that's actually the unreal form. What we are seeing here is just like a house, like a building. But on TV, we see the illusory form of the Guru that gives us the teaching. So the actually the Guru cannot really die. And we say that we make long life prayers where we say, may you live for hundreds of kalpas. And actually, in this way, the Guru lives for hundreds of kalpas. He can never really disappear. And that we can actually see on the example of the TV. So when you really understand that, when you understand Bodhichitta, and when you know that your mind cannot die and is never born, then there's also no need to cry when a Guru dies. So that's really very important. So we practice the Guru in stages, the nirmanakaya, the sambhogakaya, the dharmakaya, and these are three ways of attaining liberation in the three bardos. And so practicing in this way the guru is actually always there, just like in the song by Milarepa, like when he said, "I actually cannot die." The guru can never really disappear. When you bring the guru to mind, actually, even if the yidam doesn't come to mind, even if just the guru comes to mind, then actually that is just like having like the yidam in mind, because then you remember the words of that guru. Basically,
대들이 다다다 라마를 먹은 은어선 합제 추준 못하외 먹으시 바데 라마를 이치가 돼봐 삼제형이 다다 대우는 타니 오지는 변화 자공이 자잖아 대지 자공이와 조그 시험을 쳤음 평생 제와인 걸 빼대는 게 유라 라마선 학문이 이는 몇 지는 상바다 희지 제나 들이 라마선 하고 따리 lama tira te pa yichi te wa una machina samte te zubar gon ta wa cha ni nguni lami mugu san hab chuju te re o nga homa nguni zuba yo nga samte che ta samte che cha song o ta nga yin zuba gon ta wa ta nguni lam se te pa cha ngui te tira o sho ma jok de so ti sen samba ta ni ji che ma ji te da ko ja zuba da ko ja ta ma te ta go re
And so if you think that the guru has died and now he's gone, and that's it, he's not here anymore, then you are actually just seeing the guru as a human being, and you haven't really understood the actual quality of the guru. So it's important to understand that the guru actually cannot die and is indivisible from your mind. And so now it says here that when the sun of devotion doesn't shine, the stream of blessings will not arise. Devotion here it means that you fully trust, you have faith in the guru, you love the guru. For example, you have an ice block, and then when warmth arises, it melts, and in that way the ice connects to the water. So just like that, the stream of blessings emerging from the guru are absorbed in your own mind if you give rise to love and compassion, if you let the ice block melt. So when love and compassion arise, then really it is a sign that the blessings really have entered your mind. Signs are that when you love the guru, you have great compassion for sentient beings, and you're able to be patient no matter what difficulty you encounter. That is a sign that the blessings have entered your mind. In the past, for example, I didn't have much patience, but then I made an effort in developing love. It increased, and now I have great patience. That is a sign that my mind has become one with the Guru's mind. So whether or not you have received the blessings of the Guru, you can see for yourself as to whether or not love and compassion and patience have arisen in your mind. So that's really most important.
Lama de yang de lama check the tree over Pena Market, or that chicken, Marcy only just here, my bee, Penatinani, check it out, check the tree, check it on the Zio, but check the gate of Marite. Imagine you check to buy on something to make the check the Hojata, something minutes check to buy the Hojama, Lama, you cheap true casses sooner, the Lapojaga, my cousin. La madre te poi ci uti ma dimba di che di marzingi io queste tavole tutto i cinque ore ti io sta te con tanti pata saja che poco va la maghe samti di giure cene ti sabasse mi va di giure cene ti camiteli sempre certi samti la jinga nato 참아디 쳐다라고 식도 요 이제 요마 사태체 뭐 차당을 같이면 면들이 다시내도 저는 우리 사바체비 같은 연구요에 용나 그값들이 생각도 왜 besemm때라 이 잡아미 바라지 나파타의 차연구요에 들이라면 다 사자체 보고 저 사자치 먹고 심리 좀 남파 양발라 남도 같은 소 맞아요. 진지자 깔마다 sem toden ni tinzos. 다 sem 가리지. 다 삼바 sem이 지나. 실내 사실은 우리 삼바 sem이 지네. 나도라 봐는 뭐 지를 식로리 기사 요면 삼세 왕들 차례 첫 사고로 차차례 이 감이 라미 미소자 되잖아. 라미는 나갔다 차대. 오, 나또 찍자마자 싸우 하고 상통도 오 우리 선택하는 나갔다 그래 고아티 사이버리 당일에서 오심이 심지 나파야 봐 우리에서 하고 다티 맞지나 심지 나파야 봐다 나파를 트렌도 가래도 양납도 잡먹고 잡아먹고도 나서 또 연구리 대 마온나 심지 나파야 봐라서도 나갔다 그래 나서 하고나 남도 좀 남도 연거리 남도 용나 갈지 야 남도 용나 주대 나고 맞아지 셈 또들 니기도 잠보라 나고 맞아 니 봐라 가고 맞아 제살 가살 맞이지 너를 맞이 봐지 들 남도 그 늦밤에 봐요 그래 빼잖아 남가디 모자 남가라 하도 돼. 다들은 모자 고마서 하고는 모자 고마서 빼고 나를 나서 고용코도 고고고 왜 타지래. 가야지도면 고소 다음에 모자 고세 잘라 빼는 거 말. 오 진짜 중도 맞이 왜 용디세. 나도 가세 잘라 봐야지 타만도 그런 거 탕치. 남이 나도 내가 차고 나도 매선 세고 이제 들어라는지 예요서 알지. 생활을 하시지. 네가 빼지 뭐요래. 다들 죽어 내가 지 뭐지.
So regarding this guru devotion, it means that you must remember the words of the guru again and again, all the time. For example, I tell you, if you love me, do not forget the 37 practices. And then you will remember those words. Because actually when someone that you love very much tells you something, you won't forget it. So often it's the case that people tell you the same thing, but actually you only listen to those people that you love. And so whatever a person that you love tells you, you just remember that. And if you don't really love the person, no matter what they tell you, even if it's true, you are not very interested and you won't remember it, no matter how often they tell you. For example, if you don't love a certain lama, no matter what he tells you, you won't remember it. And if you really love someone and really trust them, even if they would tell you something that's not really true, you would still remember it and believe them because you love them. And so anyways, we come next to the meditation of Mahamudra on the next page. And so when you cultivate devotion and then you cultivate this immeasurable love, and then you look at your mind, sometimes then there naturally is no thought in the mind. Even if thoughts arise, they dissipate like waves on water. There's no thought that is coarse. There's no coarse thoughts of attachment and aversion arising. And actually, the key point here is immeasurable love. Actual shamatha or calm abiding comes on the basis of immeasurable love. And when you then are in this thought-free state and you look at your mind, there's no grasping whatsoever. It naturally becomes like space. So now the Guru tells you, meditate on Mahamudra. And that is now founded on immeasurable love. First, a calm state arises. And even if afflictive emotions and thoughts arise, they will dissipate. Because the mind itself is completely pure. So it says here, it dissipates into the vastness of space. So then you are just naturally in a very relaxed state. It naturally becomes like space. But there is also a clear knowing. You clearly know that there are no thoughts in your mind. You are fully aware of your space-like nature. And that is the experience to be gained, that you have a certainty that this is it. And this is the natural state of the mind. And when that, for as long as you have not gained that certainty, you will always wonder about the clouds and the rain in the sky, all the thoughts that arise. So this vastness of space, or having it dissolve into this vastness of space, is to know that you know that the mind is like space. And within the sky, clouds can arise. And when they arise, what should you do? Then you don't hold on to them. And that is also what's meant with make an effort concerning a mind that is free from thoughts. Free from thoughts here means that thoughts actually still do arise, but you let them be without clinging to them. So you do not cling to positive thoughts, and you do not reject negative thoughts. You let be whatever arises as it is without fixating on it in any way. And then thoughts cannot affect you in any way. For example, if you're on the road and you're watching cars passing by, if you try to count and focus on each one of them, very soon you will just get dizzy and tired of it. On the other hand, you can just not really focus on them and just not really care about which car comes and so on, how many cars, then you will be relaxed. So that's the quality of not grasping. So when thoughts arise, you just let them be without doing anything to them. And eventually, they will not arise anymore. It's like the thoughts get tired of arising, and then they will naturally not arise. And when they do not arise, you are in a natural state. And that itself is the natural state of the mind. That is what we call the luminosity of the basis. And abiding within that natural state, your true nature, is a truly joyful, a very happy state. And we also refer to it as the great bliss of the Dharmakaya.
Gedanken haben in ihrem Vorüberziehen keinerlei führende Wirkung mehr, solange wir nicht diesen Gedanken nachhängen und an ihnen klammern. Ein Beispiel, das ich dafür geben mag, ist so, wie wenn wir eine Hauptverkehrsstraße betrachten. Wir könnten beim Betrachten, wenn wir auf all die vielen zahllosen Autos schauen, wo eines nach dem anderen vorbeieilt, und wenn wir jedem einzelnen Auto versuchen nachzuschauen, immer wieder zu schauen und zu schauen, wir würden dabei gewiss in ganz kurzer Zeit schwindelig werden. Wie viel entspannter ist es, wenn man einfach den Blick darauf ruhen lässt und man lässt die Autos vorbeiziehen, ohne an jeden einzelnen anklammern zu wollen. Und das ist, was hier gemeint ist, dass aus der tiefen Entspannung, die entsteht, aus dem Frieden, durch Liebe und Mitgefühl, die Kraft erwächst, dann auf schiere Bewusstheit zu schauen, die es nicht nötig hat mehr, jedem einzelnen Gedanken nacheilen zu wollen, sodass die Menge der denkenden Gedanken dann wie von selbst erschöpft sich zurückzieht und Bewusstheit in eigentlichen Grundnatur hervortreten kann. Das ist dann Mahamudra, die große Gegenwart, die Grundnatur unseres eigenen Erlebnisses.
Then Chimba Yeso. Chiba is Chi Zakarmata. Chiba is Jatavan Chimba, for the Chusamche. Mupotan Chima Madapa, Jumata Uzi. Tuvita, Mupotan Chima, Takti Meva, then Divze, Matapa, Jumata Tuvita race, then Chimuri. Jinnipa Chiba did. 이런 콜대 사실 대화다 동아다 로아르도 소송 콜대 이게 사와체바 삼체 가르리들 오 내가 저르지는 대독 차라 삼체 내가 저지는 로벌 베지는 되니 저거 별로 철에 차오르면 고만 차오르면 차니까 식도 요리 대도 저래 준비해서 하면 봐서 준비해서 하면 봐지 강네 차징 차월에서 준비해 걸어서 안 못하면 나도 상관없다. 준비해 걸어서 안 못한 거 거기 대답도 가르치고도 미치게 능이 가리도 뒤져 가리 야 차와서 라과대에서 하고 레지비시만 차와서 하고 두고요 말이 차와서 하고 맡으면들이 죄송해고요. 내가 제수국의 송요에 준비 차신 차와서 마시나 되니 다른 식사 타토와 또 무섭송요에 준비 차신 차와 맞도는 식사 타토와 하고 두고 말이에요. 그 식사 타토와 하고는 되니 다다 그도 준비 상황에 따라 또 많이 감이 하고 그래 때문에 첫 때는 가다 침보요래 그도 준비 상황에 또 많이 가리시 야 내 가리 무슨 그래도 사자전 뭐 빼나 야저 내가 이제 진 세상을 나오는 다지 이제 세상도 나오나 야 세상 되게 참 영화를 내서 하잖아 야 다저 좀 배우요래 내가 저러고 잘 미인 거요. 야, 파 가자다 나지 니디는 맞네. 세상을 하는 거로 쳤대나. 세상이 오 말이. 동작도 또 완전 거로 동수는 제일 미인이야. 매야면 별로 성우매가 색성매야 요 말이. 다 나와 사집에 나와 제시대 동작 니니 성적 그 소속은 있어 하고 그러면 오 뉴페스도 뭐지? 야, 주세당 신부. 나 세당 나서 하고서 파 가장 세당 오 세당 파면 앞에 주고 작성. 우리 세당 가서 뭐도 다 줄래요. 다 뉴페 저동 관이베 다 나빠사집에 뛰어라. 우리 하려야 요래 배대서 우리 들이 막을 자 들은다는 참조거리.
So it says here the planets and stars of the twofold knowledge are without splendor then. This twofold knowledge here is, there is first of all the knowledge that knows things as they are. So knowing the nature of all phenomena of samsara and nirvana as they are. And knowing that they lack any true inherent existence or any characteristics on their own, they appear like illusions, like a TV film, for example, but they lack any stability, any permanence. They are compounds, they are impermanent. Then the second knowledge is knowing the extent of things, knowing everything that exists. And then here the question arises that even though this is how things are, then still in samsara, in the 6 realms, we have various experiences of happiness and suffering. So why does that happen? It is due to a temporary condition and the causes that are created, that there is a variety of coarse and subtle experiences of happiness and suffering. For example, it is like at night, water freezes into ice, then in the morning, during the day, it melts again, and so on. So karma is unfailing. Now, when we think about the subtle workings of karma, we think about why is there this variety of suffering and happiness in samsara and nirvana? Why is there suffering? What is the cause of suffering of people and so on? It gets very subtle. So most of us who understand karma understand it on a coarse level. We do understand it on a coarse level. But because we don't really understand it on a subtle level, that is why often doubts arise. And Lord Chikden Sumgön had said that if you do not know the subtle workings of karma, it will be difficult to realize on the ultimate level how things really are. Everything that is to be known is still not realized. So when one realizes how things really are and the true nature of things, then what one realizes is that there is no contradiction between the two truths. the relative karma being infallible, and on the ultimate level, emptiness. There's no contradiction. If one only looks at those words, there seems to be a major contradiction. On the one hand, we say that karma is unfailing, and then yet we say it's also empty. When we practice Mahamudra, for example, how that works is, for example, the cause of anger arises. There might be some notion of self-other duality, so anger arises. And then if you act out on it with body and speech, you accumulate karma, then with 100% certainty that karma is going to ripen. So temporarily, the mind becomes like ice and it will ripen. But then if you do not grasp at duality and you just look at the anger itself, then you find that actually there is no anger. It doesn't really exist. Where is it? It's nowhere. So actually it's empty. It's not really there actually. So then when the cause is empty, no result can ripen. It's just like when the seed is burned, no crop will grow. And that's a very special feature of the Buddhist view. It is the union of the twofold truth. And that's important to understand. When the cause is empty, then, for example, anger arises within you, but you have understood that it doesn't really exist, so it again disappears. And after it has dissolved, you feel very happy. And you realize there has never actually been any real anger. Where is it? It's nowhere. So it's empty. So if you really think about it, this Buddhist view is really quite amazing, actually. So in any case, for today, I will stop the instructions here.
데려다가 마르자게 또 사트고 요래지 데려 상하게 되니 뉴모가 사트고 요래지 데리 시랍라티니 뉴모바테가 좋아해봐 동로 거래 데리더니 상하게 동하게 듣다가 잠소이니 뉴모통아 빼야 보래지 강원에 바탕서고 요말 때문에 해당 기사를 지니더니 빼셈 싸워야고요 오 해당 가세 길어야 건도 대능지 뉴모 가지고 핀밤을 뉴밤에 빼지사버래지
For example, a peacock can eat poison. And likewise, in the secret mantra, the Vajrayana, we can eat the afflictive emotions. And that is through awareness, we are able to eliminate the emotion and render the mind without any feeling. So no feeling is left behind. Completely empty the mind of it. And so in the Vajrayana, actually, it is said that actually the afflictions and suffering are like an ocean of nectar. Actually, then the afflictions are actually very good. For example, anger arises, but then it dissolves, and the mind remains even more clear than before. So then you feel that the more anger arises, the better. Then the 5 afflictions actually will only enhance the practice and will not cause any harm any longer.
Gemütswallungen nichts Unerfreuliches mit. So bringt Ärger als Nebenwirkung mit sich eine wache, klare Bewusstheit. Und man kann, wenn dann so Gemütswallungen keinen Schaden mehr anrichten, geradezu sich über ihr Auftreten freuen. So heißt es hier, wird die Menge dieses Unheils der Geistesstörung, der Geistesgifte zu einem Ozean von Nektar, als ein Ozean von Nektar erfahren und erlebt. Und man wird aus dieser Perspektive heraus geradezu sich über ihr Auftreten freuen. Je mehr Ärger, umso besser. Je mehr Klarheit und Bewusstheit wird dadurch entstehen.
다상 하자 가와서 본 것을 캡상해 보시 니 톱성 강리지 진나 많이 폐성 라민 네 것을 돌아도야 요 말에 가서 강리들은 다다 같이들 발생만 보도 가시 고서 미소자야 카라사이로 가시 들라 내일 모레 이 소마 가시 안에도 로니 식을 딱와 여도 되는 거 아니야도 연구요를 가서 옛날에 가요도 좋아들이 민도 탐지 좋아들이 용데 이게 딱 개별나 많이 요래 빼가와서 뭐 뒤를 진진나 많이 그 좋아들이 리는 나로지 되게 아이디 들이서 맞아 초라면도 되게 다 아리 동네 나가 주 기본 인진 요래 다 좋아들이 참아 거기는데 빼 맛이 번까지 거래 다 아리들은 유도형들이 좋아들이 진체매 봐요. 자니 많은 가도 주시에 그 요래 보게 하고 요래 대다한테 기지도 막 가는 우리들이 만나기니 콩나만이 아들이 다 쓰는 거래. 그래서 이제 삼절라 팽기를 하고 하는 걸 로마다 정하요 팀도 꼭 차대 요래. 그래서 좋아들이 나로지 대가를 와서 이제 샘 가사 치모 니치나만이를 보야요. 이러고 어떻게 받쳐 동다 가리 지주는 지초고 요래 딱 코니 투삼곰 좀 탔어 말이 그냥 대대회들이 딱 접전나 봐 이렇게들이 이게 돼야 공노만들 가르쳐 그래서 셀린친인데 초고 요래 대대 그거 감성보대 제 사막을 하고 거래 다 좋았더니 이게 지지 참이
Actually, there's one great fortunate opportunity that I would like to share with you, and that is that we have those two Khenpos, Ken Rinpoches here, who just appeared here naturally, and we should definitely not waste that opportunity of having them here. And also, you came here from long. Far away, and we have long breaks, and during that time some of you like to go out and eat and take a break, but some of you also stay around. And so if you have any for example, there is some disciples who have been following me for like 20 years, and they also like to ask questions, but nowadays it's difficult to ask me many questions. But you still have those questions. So you should ask them to the two Ken Rinpoches who are here. We also have two translators, so you can write down your questions on a piece of paper and give it to them, and then they can ask those two Khenpos your questions. So that's my wish for you, that we really make best use of our time here. For example, in Arizona, we have Khenpo Tenzin, and he is nowadays answering all the questions. And actually, due to that, nowadays in Arizona, we have questions continuously. On Sunday, for example, in the morning, he's teaching the Dharma, and then also he's teaching Tibetan. He's really like the sun. So anyways, we have those two Ken Rinpoches here, and having them here is an incredible merit, and they can really do so much to benefit sentient beings, and they have so much more qualities and learning than I do. Actually, I don't know much at all. So it's my hope that you ask them questions. So I'm also asking them, I'm requesting them with a katak of the mind to please answer their questions. So you can actually ask them anything you want to ask them. They can give you an answer because they have really perfected, mastered all the levels of listening and reflection, meditation, learning, and so on. Please write down your questions, if you have any, on a piece of paper. You can give them to the translators, and then they will ask your questions to those campos. So that's really an excellent opportunity that you should all be aware of. So I ask you to please use this opportunity and ask your questions to those campos.
So wie ich das eben gelesen habe, von den beiden Tempus zum Wohlgefallen aller beantwortet.
benangara니 다 장고 위는 걸 가르쳐도 요래지 고각 타고 말이 싸워는 타고 말이 이 저들 저사 저와서 니요래 람시 자고를 못 지르 뭐래 다 대신 패사리 진지만 콩 가래를 콩을 저거요래 소이도나 콩을 저사 콩이지 다들 배우들이 또 저거 저들이 다 야고 요래 되게
Actually, there's two people that I like to ask questions. For example, there is His Holiness Chöd Rinpoche, and that I really would like to ask questions to, but I don't have any opportunity to do that. And the other person was Lamchen Gyalpo Rinpoche, but he had passed into Nirvana already. So now who can ask any questions? So actually, it's very precious that we have the opportunity to ask any questions. So therefore, now take this opportunity and ask questions to those two campos that we have here.
Page number 9, this book, the dedication 5 Mahamudra. Chamdan yin ye chödra ling dong jan jo sem je ran zo je ka zang ro la pen de lam de la ma san jo sem la so Korande kunje se bondor jese dene yondra yedan jeng horozo Pramara zen hangora dere doyamba lama la bela la sorwa Savye de darang sanje belo je me don dam dam je dor je sambe ranzo de jingen de gonjo gende la marasorwa Jimmy Saratong Hadar Jujang Ngamiram Daran Jahalom Jod Nimi Shadaran Zendaran Drebeng Lama Saja Jela Zorha Jola Mazanjera Sambananda Zunze Taravele Nebonam Dareksa Yebenge Damianam Jento Serang Hova Today is a full moon. We pray for Amitabha, Pure Land Amitabha. Red book, page number 22. Page number 22, yeah?
Es gibt eine wichtige Durchsage, und zwar ab morgen werden die Unterweisungen vormittags bis 12:30 Uhr gehen. Also ab morgen 12:30 Uhr. Tomorrow till Friday, the teachings in the morning they will go till 12:30. And now Rinpoche goes home to rest, and we practice Chöd. Jetzt geht Rinpoche nach Hause, sich zu erholen, und wir werden Chöd praktizieren. Alle, die von unserer Gruppe, die Damar und Glocke spielen können, die kommen bitte hier vorne auf die Bühne. Chöd-Texte und Chöd-CD könnt ihr im Shop erwerben. We have also Chöd texts and CD in the shop. Also Yamantaka Tankas. And also for those that overnight in DGI, the breakfast is 7:30. Die in DGI übernachten, Frühstück ist um 7:30 Uhr, und wir bitten die Karma-Yoga-Liste zu beachten, und ja, die Praxis beginnt ja auch schon an der Stelle. So for those that overnight in DGE, please pay attention about the Karma Yoga list. The practice begins on this place. Okay, thank you. So now is a short break and then a Chöd practice.
Not short break, come here. Now. So there.
Onye chung chi dung su ye ma la ye ba do ye la zo wan de zo ye ma la ye ba do ye la zo wan de zo ye ma la ye ba do ye la zo wan de zo ye ma la ye ba do ye la zo wan de zo ye rab ye ma ba ge den ye a tu yin me sem ye cha de zo chu cha do xia wa zen ye la ye long de ye dong ba ta lo yong men je nyam be ngai ni ne gan de se la sen zen ne che sem ye se ba mai do da ta ne nyam ni se na le yin yin me sen yin ye mo ra ma de kin ko la zo la me a dan de bang be bai ro na jin ba sa wa lo na me yo je bang de bai ro na chö dun za wa lo na me na me ta bai ro na zu ba sa wa lo na me yam ne da me ba na chung du za wa lo na me an la ne ta bai ro na tang ti za wa lo na me ne lo to be bai ro na yi ra za wa lo na me se te to je bai ro na ta ki za wa lo na me divya jong de bai ro na to ki za wa lo na me on yin de bai ro na mo za wa
Where to practice? Come here. Who can drama road, clock spielen, oben, schnell.
song yam zhe lu na de da yin a cai dong bi da la yu ba chung bi dung yu ye ma la ye ba do ye la zo wan de zo ye ma la ye ba do ye la zo wan de zo ye ma la ye ba do ye la zo wan de zo ye ma la ye ba do ye la zo wan de ye rab ye ma ba ge den ye a tu yin me sem ji cha de zo chu cha do xia wa zen ye la ye long de ye dong ba ta lo yong men je nyam be ngai ni ne gan de se la sen ne che sem ye se ba mai do da ta ne nyam ni se na le yin yin me sem yin ye mo ra ma de kin ko la zo la me a dan de bang be bai ro na yin ba sa wa lo na me yo je bang be bai ro na chö dun za wa lo na me on la me ta bai ro na zu ba sa wa lo na me yam ne da me ba na chung du za wa lo na me an la ne bai ro na sam ti za wa lo na me ne lo to be bai ro na ji ra za wa lo na me se te to je bai ro na ta ki za wa lo na me divya jong de bai ro na to ki za wa lo na me on yin de bai ro na mo lam za wa lo na me nyum mo ran chang re ba na yi ji za wa lo na me 동양 저는 아대 다이야 태동 비다라 바성 비송도
Ini jusa do. Apa nama? Ya. Ini apa ini?
Dann gleich mit der Chöd-Praxis.
Ini do. Apa lama? Don't such it. This do. 어쩌죠?
Chöd.
三者西西单西巴，他们这个就让我们帮的靠近，轰轰轰的熊的的下孙颤动。那个为下所，查那个为颤动，日巴那个为日巴么，巴巴那个为巴巴觉。嘿。嘿，嘿，嘿。 Yeah. Vijayan. An 20, this book, 21. Sana Dankeschön. Thank you. Bodhichitta.
Also morgen geht es wie heute auch um 10 los, tomorrow 10 o'clock. Und wer mit dem Auto da ist, bitte nimmt auch die anderen mit. So when you have a car, so please share with another people. Thank you.